guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bruna and in today's video I have a tutorial on this crochet crop top and I really hope you guys enjoy, so let's get started. So this is what we're going to be crocheting today, and I was wearing this on the intro of two of my videos and you guys really seemed to like it and you also requested me to do this. So here I am, I'm going to be doing this for you guys today. And it just goes a little bit under your boob. You can definitely change this part here and make it longer or just maybe a little bit shorter. It depends on what you want to do. So this one, I do have the yarn that I've used for this project, okay, already on my channel. And I'm gonna be also linking everything, all the information, all the products I'm using in the description below. And I don't really have the brand for this yarn here, but I know that Hobbycraft, they do sell this yarn. I'm gonna be searching the yarn and then I'm gonna be putting all the information in the description below so that you guys can use maybe the same yarn, or if you want to know the numbers and the colors and things like that. So this is how the yarn looks like on the project. As you guys can see, I have one of the cups completed. You guys know that I always do one cup first and then I'll show you guys the other one. So for the one I'm going to show you guys today, it will be just a little bit different from this one because I just decided to do 2 rows of squares, okay, around the cup. And this one, it only has 1, okay? And then later I'm just going to be connecting in the middle, okay? I'm going to show you guys all the process and everything. As always, I'm using my fabric glue and my scissors. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, so let's get started. So first we can begin with a slip knot. So for this project I'm going to be doing a size small, which is my size, but if you're doing a size extra small, medium or large, you can check the description down below, which I have all the information for that, okay? So now you can chain 16. So now you can just hold that last stitch in place and then you can chain 3 extra, okay? And then on that stitch that you're holding, which is the 4th stitch, you want to create your first double crochet. So now you can just continue with the double crochets, okay, on every stitch until you get to your last stitch. Okay, so I just finished my first row, as you guys can see. So now you want to create 2 more double crochets on that last stitch. 2, like that. So on that same stitch you want to create 2 more double crochets. So now you have 3 double crochets on the same stitch, okay? So now you want to chain 2 and then you want to create 3 more double crochets on that same stitch, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3. So now you can just continue with the double crochets until you get to your last stitch. So I'm just at the end of the row and you want to make sure you get that very last stitch, okay? So now you just want to go up 3 chains and then you want to turn, and then on this very first stitch you want to create your first double crochet. And now you just want to continue with the double crochets until you get to the top of the cup, okay, right here. Okay, so when you get to the top of your cup right here, on that little space you want to create 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then you want to chain 2 and then create 2 more double crochets on that same little space. And then now you just want to continue with the double crochets until the end of the row. So I am here now on my last stitch. Okay, so now you just want to repeat the same process, okay, as the second row, as I showed you guys already. So you want to do the double crochets until you get to the top, and then at the top you want to do 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, and then you want to continue with the double crochets until the end, and then you want to repeat the same process all over again. Okay, so for the first part of the cup with only the double crochets, I'm gonna be doing 6 rows. So I've done 2 already, so I need to do 4 rows more. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and then I'm gonna do my 4 rows that I have to do, and then I'll come back. So as you guys can see, I just finished my 6 rows. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we are going to be doing the square pattern all around the cup. Okay, so to begin you want to go up 3 chains like that, and then you want to turn, and then on the very first stitch you want to create your first double crochet, and then you want to chain 2, and then you want to skip 2 stitches, and then on the third you want to create a double crochet, and then on the next you want to create another double crochet, and then you want to chain 2 and then skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then on the third you want to create a double crochet, and then on the next you want to create another double crochet, chain 2 again, skip 2 stitches, on the third you want to create 1 double crochet, and then another one, and then you want to keep repeating that pattern until you get to the top. Okay, so I got to the top, and then you just want to continue doing the same pattern. So I'm just going to be chaining 2, and then you just want to repeat the same shell stitch that we've created on the previous row. Okay, so you're just gonna do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and create 2 more double crochets on that same little space. And also make sure that you follow the same pattern, okay, that you've created on this side. You just make the same on the other side. So once you finish the little shell stitch, you want to chain 2. And because I didn't skip any stitches right here, I'm not going to be skipping on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight to the next stitch here, but I'm still gonna do the 2 chains here. Okay, so you can just do the 2 chains and then go straight to the next stitch, and then you can create your double crochet and then another one, and then you're just gonna have something like that at the top. Okay, but then now you can just follow the same pattern. Okay, chain 2 and then skip 2 stitches. On the third you can create a double crochet, and then on the next another double crochet, and then just keep following the same pattern, okay, until you get to the last stitch. So just to show you guys right at the end here, so just chain 2, and then on the very last stitch you can create 2 double crochets on that same stitch, okay, so that we still have the pattern, okay, the 2 double crochets. So now we're going to be doing the second row with the squares. So you just want to follow the same pattern, chain 3, and then you just want to follow the pattern from the previous row. Okay, you just want to follow that. So you want to create your double crochet at the top of the second double crochet. Okay, right here, this one, because we do have the 3 chains here, so that counts as a double crochet. So now you can chain 2, and then at the top of these 2 double crochets you want to create 2 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and then you want to chain 2 again, and then you can just skip the square, and then at the top of the 2 double crochets you want to create 2 double crochets. Okay, right here. And then you just want to continue following the same pattern, okay, until you get to the top of the cup. Okay, so you're basically going to be doing the same pattern you did on the previous row. But when I get to this part here, I'm just going to come back and then I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. So I got to the top here, so I just finished doing this double crochet at the top of this other double crochet. So I'm just going to do that again. Here we go. Another double crochet, and then you can chain 2, and then at the top of this double crochet here you want to create another double crochet and then another one. Okay, and then when you get to the shell stitch, okay, the little space right here at the top, you just want to chain 2. Then you just want to do the same as the previous row. Okay, create 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets on that same stitch. Here we go, and then now you can chain 2 again, and then just follow the pattern from the previous row. Here we go, and then now you can just follow the normal pattern. Okay, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So now I'm just going to be continue doing the same until I get to my last stitch. So I am here on my last stitch, and then I'm just going to do a double crochet. So now, as you guys can see, I have both of my cups completed, and now we're just going to be moving to the rest of the crop top. Okay, to begin the connection you need to chain 2 like that. And then you want to make sure that when you connect the 2 cups, they are both on the same direction. So both of my cups are basically on the reverse side, okay? So this is the right side and this is the reverse side. So I'm just going to be connecting mine on this very first stitch, okay, on the bottom of the cup, as you guys can see. So after creating the 2 chains, you just want to get 1 stitch from the other cup, which is right here, and then you just want to connect the 2 with a slip stitch. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the other cup. Okay, so we're going to go up 1 stitch with a slip stitch like that, and then we are going to be chaining 2, and then we're going to go back on the other cup, and then we are going to be doing a slip stitch right at the top of the second double crochet. I'll show you guys now. So this one here is the first double crochet, so I just created a slip stitch right on the second one. So now we're going to be creating the square. Okay, so you just need to go up with the slip stitches until you get to the first double crochet right here, and then when you get to the first double crochet you create a slip stitch and then chain 2 like that. Okay, so here we have the square. So the first double crochet after this square is the one we're going to be connecting, okay, with a slip stitch, so like that. and then we can just go up with a slip stitch to the next square, and then we can create 2 chains like that. And then we go back to the next double crochet right here, and then we can just connect with a slip stitch. So we just created the first square right here, and then we need to create another one, which is the second. So you're gonna go up with the slip stitches until you get to the first double crochet right here, and then you can chain 2, and then you can just connect at the top of this first double crochet here, which is the one after the square. So I'm just gonna do that, and then you can just go up to the next stitch, which is the second double crochet, and then you can chain 2, and then now you can just go back to the other side and just connect on the other double crochet with a slip stitch. So this is how it looks like. So I chosen to do only 2 squares, okay, right in the middle. You can choose to do more if you want. You can do 4, you can do 5, or you can just do 1 if you want. Okay, so right here we can just fasten off, and then we're basically done with the middle, and then we can just do the rest of the crop top. So once you've finished all the squares in the middle here, you can just fasten off. So this is how it looks like. So now we are going to be moving to the sides here on both sides. So this is what we're going to be doing now, which is the side of the crop top. So as you guys can see on this project here, I have more squares. I have 5 squares here, okay? And then on this one I have only 2. This is because I need to work with my yarn, okay? So if you are doing with a different yarn, you need to make more rows, or you need to make less, or you need to make more squares, okay? So just make sure you work with the yarn that you have. And we are gonna be following the same numbers of squares that we created in the middle here. We are gonna be doing on the sides, okay? On both sides of the crop top, here and here, okay? So I've done 5 in the middle, so I've done 5 on the sides, okay? So on this project I'm doing only 2 squares, as you guys can see, these 2. So I'm just gonna be following the same on this side. So you guys know already that this crop top, it closes right here at the back. I have a chain right here in the middle closing the crop top. So this is the part where you guys need to measure on yourself, okay? So you need to make sure that you do enough rows on both sides in order for them to reach, okay? So for one side you want to do the squares, and then once it reaches the middle of your back you want to stop, and then you want to go back to the other side, you want to do the squares on the other side, and then when it reaches also the middle of your back is where you're going to stop, okay? So I'm going to be doing on this side first, okay? It doesn't really matter where you start. You can start here or you can start on this side. So I'm just going to be attaching my yarn right on this very first stitch. So I'm just going to be using the same method. I've created the little squares around the cup. And you also want to make sure that you do the same numbers of squares that you did on the middle here, okay? So I've done 2, so I'm going to do only 2 squares on the sides. So I'm going to do 2 double crochets, 1 square, 2 double crochets, another square, and 2 double crochets. So I'm just going to do that until I have enough rows to cover half of my back. So to begin, you just want to go back into that stitch, and then you want to grab the yarn, and then you want to chain 3. And then at the top of the second double crochet, you want to create another double crochet. And then you want to chain 2, and then you want to skip the square, the 2 stitches, and then you want to create a double crochet at the top of this first double crochet here, okay, on the previous row. And then you want to create another double crochet, on the other double crochet here on the previous row. And then you just want to repeat again 2 chains, and then you want to skip the square, and then you want to create 2 double crochets, 1, 2. So that's basically what I'm gonna do, back and forth, okay? So now we can just continue. So we're gonna go up 3 chains like that, and then we can turn. And then at the top of the second double crochet, we're gonna be creating the first double crochet, and then we can chain 2, and then we skip the square, and then at the top of the first double crochet we create another double crochet, and then the same on the other double crochet, and then we chain 2 again, skip the square, 1 double crochet at the top of this double crochet, and then another double crochet at the top of this first chain here, okay? So now I'm just going to be repeating the same process until I get to the middle of my back, okay? So if your yarn is a little bit stretchy, you need to stretch your yarn and see if it reaches the middle of your back. So I'm just going to continue doing the same process, and then I'll come back to show you guys what to do next. So as you guys can see, I just finished all my rows for the side, and I've done 13 rows, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So now I'm just going to be doing the other side right here, using the same process that I've used on this other side. And then when I'm finished, I'll come back and then I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing for the straps. So you're going to be doing the same numbers of rows, okay, on the other side as well. So it will be 13 rows on this side and 13 rows on this other side as well. So now both of them are completed. So now we're going to be working on the straps, okay, right here. So we are going to be connecting the strap to the back of the crop top, so you also need to measure that on yourself. So this is what I'm going to show you guys, and it's the same shell stitch that I've created for this strap here, okay? So first you begin with a slip knot, and then you're going to be chaining 4, and then on the 4th stitch you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then you can chain 4, 3, 4, and then on that same stitch you're going to be creating 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to be turning like that, and then we're going to be working this way. So now you're just going to go up 2 stitches with the slip stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then you're going to go up 3 chains like that. And right here on this little space that we have here at the top, you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, 1, 2, because this chain here counts as a double crochet, and then you're going to be chaining 4, and then 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So this is how it looks like. So now again you're going to be turning and then working on this side. So now you can go up 2 stitches with the slip stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then you can chain 3, and then 2 double crochets, chain 4, and 3 more double crochets. So if you repeat the same process going upwards, you're going to have the same as this one, okay? the same shell stitch as this one. And for this strap here, for the copper crop top, I've done 14 shell stitches, okay? So I've done 3 here, you would need to do 11 more, okay? Or it depends on the size you want and also how it will fit you as well, okay? So if you guys want to do the same pattern as this one, you can just go ahead and do that. I've done 14 here, so you can just measure on yourself and see how many you have to do. But if you are doing the same strap that I'm doing for this one, I'm going to show you guys now. So this is a strap that I'm going to be doing for this project, as you guys can see. It's very simple, it's not the same as the other one. It's only with double crochets, okay? And then when everything is completed, we can just sew it down right at the back here, okay? So I'm here on the other cup, so I'm gonna do the strap for this cup now. So you wanna choose how thick you want your strap, okay? I decided to do only 3 stitches, so I got this middle one here, and then one here, and then one on the other side, okay? So that will be 3 double crochets. So you just wanna put the hook through the first stitch you wanna start with, and then you just want to make a knot, okay, on that one. So you want to attach the yarn to where you want to begin. And then you want to go back on that stitch, grab the yarn, and then chain 3, okay, right here. And then you want to do a double crochet right in the middle of this little space that we have here, okay? Right in the middle of the shell stitch, you want to create your double crochet. And then another one on the next stitch, okay, like that. So that's basically what my strap is, okay? So now you can just continue going upwards, so you chain 3 like that, and then you turn, and then you want to create a double crochet right in the middle here, which is the second double crochet, okay? So create a double crochet right here, and then another one on the very last stitch. Basically going to be doing the same method. Chain 3, turn, and then create a double crochet right in the middle, and then another double crochet on the very last stitch. Again, you create 3 chains, turn, then a double crochet right in the middle, and then a double crochet on the very last stitch. So that's everything I'm gonna do for the strap. So I have the other strap completed already, so I know how many rows I did. So I've done 34 rows, okay, in 3s. Okay, so that's 34 for the strap. So now I'm just gonna be continue doing this one, okay, until I have my 34 rows completed, and then I'm going to show you guys what we're gonna be doing at the bottom here. So I just finished the other strap, and now I can just fasten off. So now, as you guys can see, I have both of my straps completed, and I've done 34 rows for each of them, okay? So now we're gonna be working on the bottom of the crop top, so right here. So for this copper crop top, what I've done, I've created 1 row with only double crochets, as you guys can see, all over the bottom of the crop top, okay? Right here and right here. And then for the second row, I've created the squares, okay? The same pattern that I've created around the cup here, okay? So I've created a double crochet, and then I've skipped 2 stitches. Double crochet, square, double crochet, square, the same process as around the cup. And I've done that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, okay? You can do more if you want to do a longer crop top, or you can do less if you want. And for this crop top, I'm not sure how many rows I'm gonna do for the bottom here, so I'm just gonna be doing, and then when I'm finished with the bottom, I'll let you know how many rows I've done. So I'm gonna be starting my crochet right on this side here, okay, which is the right side, and also the right side for my crop top, okay? So you can choose, you can just start your crochet from this side, or you can start from this side, okay? It's just up to you. So I'm gonna be attaching my yarn right at the beginning here on this very first stitch. I'm gonna go back into that stitch, and then I'm gonna be bringing the yarn forward and then chaining 3. So the first row will be only with the double crochets. We don't really have stitches, okay, at the bottom here, so you're just going to be finding one and then creating your double crochet. And then you're just going to be doing the double crochets all over the bottom of the crop top, okay, on the other side as well. So you can just find a stitch and then create a double crochet, okay. So that's everything I'm going to do for the bottom, for this first row. And then when I have this row completed, I'm going to come back and then I'm going to show you guys the second row. So I just finished all the bottom of the crop top with the double crochet. So that's my first row completed, as you guys can see. So now we're going to be doing the second row at the bottom here. So you can go up 3 chains and then you can turn. So we're going to be doing the same design that we've created on the sides. So we're not going to be doing the double crochet on the very first stitch. We're going to be doing on the second. So you can create a double crochet on the second stitch, and then you can chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then on the third we can create a double crochet, and then on the next one another double crochet, okay, chain 2 and then skip 2 stitches and then 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2 and then skip 2 stitches, on the third a double crochet and then another one on the next stitch. So this is the pattern we're going to be creating at the bottom of the crop top, okay? So it will be 1 row with only double crochets and then 1 row with the squares, okay? So it'll be a square and 2 double crochets, square and 2 double crochets. So you're just going to be repeating the same process, okay? The double crochets and the squares. So now you can just go ahead and do as many rows as you want. So I just finished the second row. I just want to show you guys the third quickly. So you're going to be chaining 3. Right at the top of the second double crochet you can create your first double crochet on this row, okay? So inside of the square you want to create 2 double crochets, and then at the top of the 2 double crochets you want to create 2 double crochets, and then in the square you want to create 2 double crochets, and then at the top of the 2 double crochets you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, and then inside of the square 2 double crochets. So I just decided to show you guys how the row after the square looks like, okay? Because maybe some of you guys will be asking questions about it, so I just wanted to show you guys, okay? So now I'm just going to be continue and then I'll come back. So as you guys can see, I just finished all the bottom for my crop top over here, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, okay? And here's the back. So when you finish the last row you can just fasten off. So before I do the strap for the back of the crop top, I'm just going to be cutting all these yarns here that I have on my project, and then I'm going to be putting a little bit of fabric glue on the cuts. So I'm just going to do that and then I'll come back. And while the glue is drying, we can start doing the back strap. So we can start with a slip knot. And then we can just begin the chain, okay? So I'm not sure how long I want to do my chain, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll do my chain and then I'll come back and then I'll let you know how many chains I did, okay? So I just finished my chain and I've done a chain of 300, okay? So now I'm just going to be fastening off right here. So now I'm just going to be making a knot right at the end of the chain right here, like that. And then I'm just going to be cutting right here. I've done on the other side already, so my chain is already completed, as you guys can see. So now I'm just going to be putting my back strap right here in a zigzag motion. So I'm going to be starting from the top and then working my way down, okay? So I just finished putting my strap at the back here, as you guys can see. So now you guys need to try on the crop top and then check where you want to sew your strap at the back, okay? So I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'll come back and then I'll let you know where I'm gonna be sewing the strap, okay? So I just tried on the crop top and I'm gonna be sewing the strap on the third square, okay, starting from the middle going that way. So that will be the third square, so 1 2 3. So I'm just going to be sewing right at the top of this square here, okay? So I'm just going to get this strap and I'm going to be sewing right here, okay? And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, on the third square, 1 2 3, right here. So just make sure that the strap is not twisted or anything, and then just place it right where you want to be sewing the strap. So right here for me, and then you're just going to be sewing the two together. So just get one stitch from the strap and then one stitch from the back of the crop top here, and then you get your yarn and then you just pass through these two stitches here, and then you want to make a knot. And then you just want to cut a little bit of the yarn like that, so that you can just sew the two together. So now you can just start sewing, okay? So get one stitch from the strap and one stitch from the back of the crop top, and then get the yarn and then just sew it down like that, okay? And then again, one stitch from one side and then one stitch from the other side, and then just sew the two together. So if you want to make it more secure, you can just go back and forth, and then fasten off right at the end, okay? So I'm just gonna do that. So now I'm just gonna be making a knot right here. And then you can just cut the yarn. So this is how it looks like. So now I'm just going to be doing the same on the other side. So I just finished sewing both of my straps. So this is the crop top completed, as you guys can see. This is the front of the crop top and here's the back. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you guys did, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon guys on my next video. Bye!